Greetings and welcome yet again to another episode of Healing for the Family. This is a podcast we hope will redeem the place of the family as the basic unit of society. My name is Olunga. I am your host. Sociologists classify the functions of the family into two broad categories. One, there are those functions they classify as essential, meaning that the family and the family alone should play those roles, should fulfill those functions. And then there are those that are called non-essential roles, non-essential functions of the family. Today I want to talk to us a little bit about the essential functions of the family as proposed by sociologists. Sociologists propose about 4 to 5 functions of the family, 5 essential functions of the family. The first, they argue that the family is the place for stable satisfaction of sexual needs of its members. I'm sure you're going, sexual needs? What about children? Don't worry, let's talk a little bit about that. You see, the family is designed as the place where the boundaries for the meeting of sexual needs for its adult members is instituted. The family provides the best boundaries, the best inhibitions for recklessness, the best inhibitions for self-control, for parents, for husband and wives, for the meeting of each other's sexual needs. There is absolutely no denying that sexual urges are the most powerful human instinct, and the family is the place where those urges and instincts should be met, at least as it is designed for the family, both by God and even in society. When people become reckless with sex, it becomes a tool of abuse. Its purposes are not met, and it becomes a very important contributor to dysfunctions in family and eventually to dysfunctions in society. How many stories have you heard about the reckless use of sex for abuse, for things like rape, things like sex for education, sex for food, sex for this or that or the other? It is because we have removed ourselves from the place of sex being within the confines of the family. But one might also ask, then what happens to children? The family becomes the primary educator, the primary teacher, the first and most important teacher of children on matters to do with sex. Parents are responsible to teach their children the right measures of self-control. Parents are responsible to teach their children what to do with sexual urges, making them aware and understand that there are consequences to making choices that are reckless about their sexual urges. The family is important in teaching that. When children are left to their own devices to do whatever they wish, then the results are so difficult to fathom. For example, the rise of early pregnancies, teen pregnancies, things like HIV and AIDS among teenagers, especially now, especially in these times, the rise of infections of HIV. There are at least 300 infections every day because, teenagers are reckless with the way they are using sex. It is the responsibility of the family to teach this first and foremost. It's not the responsibility of the church. It's not the responsibility of the school. It is not the responsibility of any other institution. It is the responsibility of the family. The father, the mother, all the adult members of that family teach their children how to relate with sex amongst themselves and with each other. The second function, the second sociological function of the family is that the family is where procreation and perpetuation of family happens, where children are brought up, where families perpetuate themselves, societies perpetuate themselves, because parents give birth to children and they teach these children, they train these children, and that cycle continues. It is the place where families get to perpetuate themselves, and as a result of that, and ultimately, that societies grow and populations grow, so that there is workforce, so that there is people who can help to move societies forward. It is also the place where the needs of people, human needs, are met primarily. It is a place for emotional support. It's the place for physical, material, and even spiritual support. It is in the family that children begin to learn about God. It is in the family that children begin to learn values and how to socialize. It is in the family that children know what security looks like, what safety looks like. It is in the family that children at a tender age are provided for in terms of security and safety. In other words, the family provides a home, it provides shelter for children and even for the adult members of the family against all the enemies and obstacles and vices that are a threat to the lives of humanity. Family is for security. It is for safety. It is also a place for peace. It is also a place for comfort. It is also the place where we experience the joy of fellowship and community and the companionship of other human beings. Essentially, family is the place where we are taught to socialize, the cradle of socialization. It is the values that we teach children in family, the values that we teach even adults in family, that they perpetuate out there. It is from the family that children learn to be kind, that children learn to be diligent, industrious, where they learn integrity and where they learn to honor authority and to respect those who are above them. You cannot overestimate the role the family plays in raising functional and building functional societies. These 4 functions are very important for us to underscore as we talk about healing for the family. Because when we miss the roles that the family should play in preparing the children for the world, then the consequences are so dire to even fathom. We must empower our families. Societies must build and invest in empowering their families to play their roles. There has to be budgets in governments to ensure that families are empowered to teach the right values to their children. We must have national conversations about the role the family plays in building functional societies. This is Healing for the Family.